What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Tom Burkhardt in the 2015 Ford F-150 Platinum. I've just been enjoying the air massaging seats, but turned it off because they are like a little bit noisy when they're on. But they're really comfortable and nice. And another advantage of having those massage seats is that you then have control over 3 or 4 areas of individual level of you have control over individual levels of firmness for various parts of the seat. Sort of like a sleep number bed, except for the seat itself. So just took a ton of pictures of the F-150, but not as many as some other vehicles that we've driven out here today in Lake Lanier Islands Resort near Atlanta, Georgia. Actually took 8 gigabytes of photos in like 3 hours, which is crazy. That's the fastest I've ever filled up a card. But let's point you towards the front so you can see some of the driving action. We'll do a little more spin around this beautiful resort and try to get a sense of the 2015 F-150 Platinum. So it's, you know, obviously it's deeply impressive from all sides, and especially so behind the wheel. The first time I drove this car, I drove a Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Z71 down to drive the F-150 for the first time in Florida. So to have like back-to-back impressions, and getting out of the Chevy and into the F-150 that we drove down there, which was a Lariat, which was like the Lariat trim level, but with the same EcoBoost engine. The Ford felt like an unbelievable luxury car after being in the Chevy, which is especially the Z71, is a very traditional pickup truck in terms of, you know, slow steering inputs, really pretty alarming ride for somebody who is used to driving cars around. Really just like incredibly trucky, almost like cliche levels of truckiness. So getting in the F-150 then, I was really blown away by its level of refinement, tossability, lightness. It just feels light. It handles exceptionally well. But getting in it today, that being said, having not driven a full-size pickup truck in a little bit, it feels huge. It feels absolutely gigantic. Still really controllable, especially with the 6-speed automatic in its sport setting. We have normal, sport, and tow haul, as well as manual and 2-in-1 modes, and a touch level of control for the actual gear shifts themselves. So we have like a lot of options. But in sport mode, the new F-150 with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost is not just fast; it's energetic. It wants to go fast. It doesn't have that full-size pickup truck thing where when you see them driving on the highway at like 85 miles an hour, you're like, wow, that guy's pushing that truck to the limits and doing like 5 miles per gallon. You don't get that sense whatsoever in the new F-150. It feels it feels just eager and a lot more playful than any full-size truck really ever has. And in this truck, I mean, getting a lot of really nice engine note. I mean, I'm sure you guys can hear that, but it's sort of like, you know, it sort of has a, down to second gear now. Okay. Now down to first gear. It just has sort of like a fun level of roar, which is pretty rare in any kind of turbocharged engine, and it seems, and I think is new for the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. Of course, this twin turbocharged V6 is hugely powerful, vastly superior to the previous 4.6 liter and 5.4 liter V8s in the Ford lineup. It really, I think, for people who are going for outright speed and power, you're still going to want the 6 liter V8. But for everybody else, 365 horsepower is really impressive. You've also got a 5 liter V8 option making 385 horsepower, which is just a few 20 ponies more, but won't be quite as efficient as the EcoBoost around town. This truck makes 420 foot-pounds of torque at 4,250 RPM, which is pretty low, respectably low. Pass this over here. Good passing power. Transmission is extremely smooth. Steering is very accurate and very light. usually lightness and accuracy do not go together. They're either, the light steering will generally be like kind of vague on like, you know, some vehicles, but that's not the case for the new F-150 Platinum. It's light, but it also has a great sense of control. You know exactly where the vehicle is, and even on a 2-lane road like this, you have no trouble at all doing 65 miles an hour or so, which is really, it speaks very highly for the vehicle's overall engineering, and something we found in the new Expedition as well. They just have a great level of on-the-road control. You don't really have to think about driving or think about like keeping the steering really accurate or keeping the thing in its lane. Which with electronics, it sounds crazy, but with electronic steering, I mean, some of these cars lately are a full-time job to drive them on a 2-lane road like this. Whereas Ford is just their trucks, and in this generation really feel extremely accurate, and driving them is like second nature. So I like the boost gauge. We have a boost gauge in the display here as well for this F-150 Platinum. Lots of other goodies. The truck feels really rigid on these 20-inch wheels. It does. I mean, the ride is, like I said, like it's all relative to what you've been driving when you first get in a full-size pickup truck. For most full-size truck owners, the F-150 will feel like an absolute dream on the road. But for somebody who has gotten out of cars most recently, it is of course rougher, but not really very much so, and still is an exceptionally comfortable car. We have a lot of pretty like notable wind noise around some of the around the cabin, but again, like for trucks, it's sort of par for the course. Overall, the level of comfort in the Platinum F-150 is, I mean, it's really, really dynamite. This is an exceptional, awesome truck. So the downside is, like most awesome things usually have like a pretty awesomely huge price tag. So what about this 2015 F-150 Platinum? So it comes in with a base price of $54,385, destination charge of $1,200, and with options comes in at $61,000, which is a lot when you think of like traditional pickup prices, but the latest prices are absolutely bonk-nanners. Pickup trucks, especially like the 2500s and the 3500s. I mean, there are many SUVs many pickup trucks these days that are being sold priced at, you know, like $65,000, $75,000, $85,000 for things, you know, with the big engines and big transmissions. People are willing to pay for that type of for that price level. They're just happy to pay for that because it's a business expense, and it's something that is might need, you know, 2 trucks, or you might need like a specific work truck to accomplish the tasks that those trucks are doing every day. Whereas if you can get one as and use it for like heavy duty hauling and towing, and then also have it just be your regular commuter back and forth to work sites, or, you know, or even to the office or wherever, it does save money, you know, theoretically. And then you also have like a giant badass pickup truck. So 61 grand for the F-150 Platinum might shock you at first, but you'd go for a drive and you'd be hard pressed to not feel like you were getting good value from the vehicle. This the F-150 is so great. It just is so much better than any other pickup truck I've ever driven. It's just an amazing truck, and you know, huge, gorgeous, really cool technology. It just really has it all going for it. The only thing that I would say that Ford might be missing versus other vehicles in the 1500 class of trucks, hello, thanks, is a light-duty diesel engine. As seen in like the very, very limited availability Ram 1500 EcoDiesel, there is a huge appetite for diesel efficiency and torque ratings in the 1500 truck class. Nissan is going to sate that demand with their upcoming Titan with the Cummins diesel. And Ford is likely already looking into putting a light-duty diesel engine into the F-150 in the coming years. But otherwise, like besides that, the F-150 is so great. I mean, none of the other trucks can compare at all to how fantastic this machine is. And above all that, it's like one of the coolest cars on the road right now, especially this platinum trim with its giant bright wheels, LED lighting, and power running boards, brushed alloy, tailgate cover. It's a really classy truck. I like it a lot. What other things could they perhaps do better? It would be nice if it had now air suspensions in trucks. Another thing that the Ram EcoDiesel offers, and a few other Ram trucks as well, that none of the other full-size trucks do. Air suspensions, if they can make it durable enough to deal with hardcore truck level work, then I would say Ford should also think about an air suspension in the future, because it would be nice to have the ride comfort benefits of an air suspension as well as the ride height adjustability, which of course when I would get in it and drop it to its like lowest height possible right away. But you know, it's nice to have the flexibility to raise that up if you are in some kind of like dicey situation. Always better to have a raised ride than a scraped undercarriage or knock something off the bottom of the engine.